Salam, you're watching what should be an action-packed, explosive episode of 420 Grams coming to you live from the NewsClick studios in New Delhi. I'm Siddhant Dani, and on the show with me today are two young men, Jaydeep Basu and Arjun Pandit, who we've all been very closely following developments at the All India Football Federation since the Supreme Court decided to appoint a committee of administrators to manage day-to-day affairs, get the house in order, set up a new constitution, and ensure that free and fair elections take place as soon as possible. Remember, the mandate of the Praful Patel-led body that was running the All India Football Federation expired back in 2020. The body was continuing on an ad hoc basis because of the pandemic and because of other reasons. Essentially, the reasons being unwillingness to conduct new elections and, of course, some doubts about the constitution. Jaydeep Basu has been writing extensively on the subject, and we've been talking about it on 420 Grams for the past couple of years, if not more, including the problems with the existing constitution, the master rights agreements, and all kinds of other issues related to the governance and management of Indian football. As things stand right now, a FIFA-AFC joint delegation was in India, 7-member committee, if I'm not wrong, delegation, sorry. They've had a series of discussions with all the stakeholders in Indian football, including those who are currently governing or currently looking after the sport, the state associations, the committee of administrators, as well as a group of advisors that was initially appointed to help the committee run day-to-day affairs in various departments, whether it's media and communications, player issues, competitions, other such things. What we have today is a conclusion of that delegation's visit to the country, a clear statement from them that deadlines have been set and India must follow those deadlines if they are to avoid a FIFA ban and to continue in FIFA competitions. Coming to you first, Jaydeep, news-wise, what are the main points that we need to update our viewers on today?
I think our viewers know more than us already, so we don't need to, I won't dare to update them on anything.
By the way, sir, Twitter पे एक account पे दिवाली बन रही है, and that is Jaydeep Basu. फट रहा है हर दिन.
So basically कि ये है कि we must, the AIFF must hold its election by September 15. I think September 15 they have given an advance deadline. Even if it goes to September 30, they won't mind. But what they have said, which is most important, but that by July 31st the constitution must be ready in place.
In place meaning accepted by everyone?
No, FIFA's thing is that it is not. If it is being cleared by Supreme Court, they are not bothered about it. We are bothered about it because our apex court is our apex court. But FIFA is not bothered. FIFA is bothered about this constitution has to be cleared by the general body of the AIFF. So all 34, 36, whatever as a number of associations, they have to come together and approve this constitution. That has to be there. And before that, they have told them that once you finalize the constitution, please send us a copy. We'll have a look at it. Not that they're trying to find fault with it, but they will see whether it is in place with the FIFA statute and everything. So now the immediate task and perhaps the toughest task would be to finalize the constitution by 31st of July.
So in that sort of process of finalizing the constitution, what are, according to you, we've all been over the draft constitution now and identified different areas where these kind of issues might come up. In conversations that you're having with the relevant parties, stakeholders, state associations, etc., what are the kind of issues that are coming up in terms of what might be sticking points, basically?
See, if you go by what the 7-member committee and the state association, 7-member committee of the state associations, in which Delhi, IFA, I think Telangana, Punjab, Karnataka, and Arunachal, and a couple of others. 7 members are there. I don't remember everybody's name. 7 members are there. So if you look, and what they have discussed with the COA before FIFA team coming, or what they have discussed with FIFA on the draft constitution, they have, at least there are 44 objections on it.
44
objections on it. But it sounds very large, but it is not that. Out of that 44, you can always say that 35-36 will be settled.
Easily
Easily settled because they are small. Yeah.
Bache no.
But there are 7-8 issues which can be of some problem, which they are still talking. The thing is that, see, if you look at it, the way what Supreme Court said in its order, even in 2017 when Supreme Court ordered the two-member committee of Dr. Qureshi and Mr. Ganguly, Bhaskar Ganguly, that form a constitution, draft a constitution. They said that all the points which are missing from the what do you call it, sports code, national sports code, that should be included. But so the members associations have said that we are okay with all sports code. We are accepting all sports code in ditto. Just put it, not a problem. An entire FIFA statute in ditto. Whatever FIFA statute is, we will go by them. These two, there is no problem. But the two-member committee of Qureshi and Mr. Ganguly, both have drafted a constitution. They have put several other points, which could be of some problem. Like sports code says, one by one I can say, sports code says one point I am saying that's getting quite hot, that one subject. One point that a principal office bearer, according to sports code, a principal office bearer, that is office bearers are three. Principal office bearers are three: president, secretary, and the treasurer. In All India Football Federation's case, principal office bearers are two. Because treasurer and president. Secretary is appointed. Secretary is a salaried person. He is an employee of the federation. So these two principal office bearers, they cannot continue beyond 12 years at a stretch and 70 years of age, whichever comes first. Yeah. It's an age and tenure restriction they have. But now rest are okay. But now this is according to sports code. But the two-member committee in the draft constitution, they have said that vice presidents and the executive members, all of them should be considered as principal office bearers, as office bearers. Right. In that case, that age and tenure rule
will apply to them.
Rule will apply with them, which is creating a lot of problem.
Especially in the state association.
Not only states, in the AIFF only, but if you look at the erstwhile committee, which was just been dismissed by the Supreme Court, if you look at it, there are, I can say, at least 7 to 10 members who will not be able to stand for election again.
But I kind of agree with their disagreement.
No, when I say because it comes from a state association also, because that's where these members are coming from.
No, but I kind of agree with the fact that they're saying that this is going to be a sticking point. क्योंकि अगर आप हर 12 साल आप पूरे फेडरेशन को कह रहे हो कि ये पूरा बदलेगा, there's something wrong with that, sir. क्योंकि अगर आप सिर्फ ऊपर की जो लीडर है आप उनके इलेक्शंस कर रहे हो, you're doing that, it's fine. But the other guys should have a longest tenure if they're doing well, and you.
But 12 years is a long time, and these are only elected office bearers. They are not employees of the company,
members
not
are saying
of the AIFF, not people who are running the departments.
Correct.
Members are saying that
media staff, all of.
Members are saying vice presidents and executive committee members. There are at least one vice president, I don't want to name him, who is there for 18 years as the vice president. Members are saying because he's there for 18 years because he is not a principal office bearers. See, members' point is, when sports code is not putting it, why are you putting extra pressure on us? Right. There is one more, which is of course part of the sports code, so members now can't do anything. That is the restrictive clause. There is AIFF constitution said, previous constitution said, anybody who wants to fight and contest an election for a post of principal office bearer in All India Football Federation will have to be a member of the executive committee of the national federation or a state body for at least 4 years.
4 years.
That's a restrictive clause. You cannot be, because you are not in a state association also.
Yeah.
But the draft constitution has removed it. Anybody can contest. Anybody can contest. AIFF members are saying then anybody will walk in, because it will also people who have with money and power can always come in.
Yeah.
So that is there. But the thing is that their arguments have become weak because it's part of the sports code.
What is the reasoning for these extra clauses that they put in, sir? Have they given a reasoning? What is it? Transparency? Is that the main jad? Ki to maintain transparency, everyone is up for sale at the end of that 12-year tenure. Is that the only?
I asked Dr. Qureshi. I had because of course I did not put it in on his coat. So he said that since the Supreme Court has told us to draft a constitution, that means they have asked us to break our head on it and find out something new and give it which can better the constitution. According to Mr. Qureshi told me clearly that if the Supreme Court's only intention was to put this sports code in it and leave it, then they wouldn't have called a man like me. They would have called anybody. Anybody in the office could have put those sports code and dismiss the constitution, adding on it. They have given us to improve upon it, so we have improved upon it. It is for now for the members. So I told Dr. Qureshi, sir, it is going to be very difficult to pass this constitution, and by 31st July, which is the deadline. So Dr. Qureshi, I remember what he said. He says, when the situation comes, we'll face it. Something like that.
Someone will have to bend. Someone will have to bend.
See, on several points, see, if you look at it, Justice Dave or Dr. Qureshi or even Bhaskar Da for that matter, it's not that they want to push something. They are open to all suggestions. But there will be at some point where they might get struck. So this is giving me a lot of whether the election, this constitution can be finished off by 31st July. And also don't forget the fact that it is not only this case when it will go to Supreme Court, there are two petitioners in it. One is Rahul Mehra, who is the main petitioner. Another is Ranjit Bajaj for Delhi Football Club, who is also another petitioner. If they object, then what will happen?
So have they been involved in the conversation so far? Either of these parties, Ranjit Bajaj or Rahul Mehra? See,
Ranjit is sitting in the meeting daily. Rahul will also come someday. So far, I didn't see Advocate Mehra coming anywhere in the football house, but he might come in too. He has every right to, because he is the main petitioner of this case.
So, मामला थोड़ा sticky है. मामला sticky है
31st July मुझे थोड़ा sticky लगा.
वो चल गया, वो आपका stopwatch चल गया अब उसको suppose मैं कह रहा हूँ, suppose आप नहीं पहुँचे वहाँ पे टाइम के हिसाब से, आप क्या है फिर आपके पास ऑप्शन? क्या आप फीफा को कह सकते हैं जनाब थोड़ा और वक्त दीजिए, या वो कहेंगे नहीं जी ये लो बैन, और अगर बैन हुआ तो कितने महीने का बैन, कैसे करें? क्योंकि आपका अक्टूबर में अंडर-17 वुमेन्स वर्ल्ड कप है.
हाँ, ये तो अर्जुन यू आर राइट. एनीबॉडी हु गेट्स, इवन आई गेट लेट, आई विल राइट कि यार थोड़ा सा
टाइम
थोड़ा सा टाइम दे दो, लेट हो रहा है. वो तो वेदर फीफा विल ग्रांट इट और नॉट, दैट्स एंड see, FIFA has to, I believe, see, I was not a party to it, so I was not present. So what I have got from the members, those who attended the meeting, from various sources which I gathered, FIFA has told them, see, let us tell you one thing very clearly. The ban letter is ready. All it needs a signature. They have told. All it needs a signature. So it will be.
Card छप गए.
Card छप गए. आप ये मत सोचिए कि, and they said we have 2-3 problems in it. First, biggest problem is there are four, like Pakistan is banned, Kenya is banned, and they are all watching.
If हमें कर रहे हो तो इनको क्यों नहीं कर रहे आप?
अगर if we do any extra treatment to give to you, then everybody will ask, why are special treatment is being given to India? So we cannot do it. But since after coming here we found that the members are united and there is a problem, you are willing to solve the problem, so we are giving you some time. And please don't think that under-17 Women's World Cup could be an excuse. That since we are hosting the under-17 Women's World Cup will be played in India, we won't be able to ban you.
No, so you're saying if say by 15 September, let's assume.
They will.
It doesn't happen.
They said कि at least 2 venues are ready.
Within 30 days आप बदल दोगे?
He says our 2 venues are ready. Not a problem.
30 दिन के अंदर भाई.
And it's not a 32 team tournament. It's a 16 team tournament. Yeah. तो 4 या 2 ये चाहिए, ग्राउंड चाहिए होता, 2-4 कर लेंगे हम उसको, लेकिन they will never allow to host this tournament under COA, or for that matter, a third party interference. That they will never allow.
So basically, yeah. So unless it's all done and dusted by the time that tournament kicks off, likely to be a ban. And as far as I think wider things are concerned, to rearrange an under-17 Women's World Cup, which they've already done before, compared to losing out on their primacy of decision making and all of these other issues that you're talking about with other countries getting involved in it, FIFA will obviously pick which side we know.
So then ये तो और
See,
फिर
Siddhant, the biggest problem of this, everybody, at least I want it to happen by 31st July for simple reason. If AIFF gets banned, I won't be the saddest person on earth. This much I can tell you. Probably the people get the government they deserve, so they must be getting that. So and if under 17 World Cup is taken away from India, okay, it's not. We have seen Asian Women's was held. How India were helped? Nothing. It's a few AFF officials who stood on this stage and were garlanded and given. So okay. Biggest loser will be India's under-17 girls.
Players, sir,
players. Because India is a host country, they are playing. If they don't play, the girls are now, I think, camping in Pune. They are starting the camp in Pune. So that would be a shocking, huge blow.
As it is because of the pandemic, one entire batch of girls has
despite the fact that selection of these girls is in question, very much in question. How these girls were picked up, nobody knows. There are at least questions about it.
ऊपर से you're going back to a system where you don't get to play.
Yeah, so that would be for those looking at those 25 young girls, kids, they should do it as fast as possible. That's the thing.
What about the one issue that
one last since we're on the ban only. अगर लगा ban, तो duration क्या होगा सर?
जब तक ये नहीं कर लेगा मेरे ख्याल तो सब दौड़ के आके 3 महीने में कर ही लेंगे मेरे ख्याल से.
तो अच्छा तो 3 महीने का ban लग सकता है.
अब we hope that it's only a 3 months
ban लगा तो फिर what क्या किस चीज पे ban लगा आपको?
मतलब I think national team will not be able to play anywhere
for those 3 months.
And our officials will not be able to go anywhere. Our referees will be banned from supervising. It's a yet like it happens in boxing and all, na. The judges are also banned, na. When Indian Boxing Federation was banned, even the judges and referees were banned.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, perhaps a ban at some point would not have been the worst thing to happen, but at this stage, if there is the willingness to perhaps resolve these issues, then maybe a ban can also be avoided, perhaps?
See, ban is... See, everybody we are talking to, you have also talked to a lot of people, I have also talked to a lot of people. Everybody is will now तो थोड़ा कि डरे हुए हैं यार कुछ करना पड़ेगा नहीं तो मर गया. हाँ ये एक थोड़ा सा सबका feeling है. तो अभी तो there is in everybody's good faith trying to do something. लेकिन Constitution, finalizing of Constitution is going to be.
एक बारी वो finalize हो गया, then this 15 September is not a problem, right? Or is that a problem then? If you finalize within time,
फिर तो हो गया.
Then it's done. So basically, the date everyone needs to be looking out for is 31st July.
हाँ, देखो 7th of July or 8th of July, I think they are going to give the final, submit the Constitution to Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court, if Supreme Court takes of the situation, that stock of the situation, wanted to early say give a date on 21st or 22nd or whatever they give, and if all parties agree, then it is okay. Get it. But if one party doesn't agree,
which is normal,
that is the thing. What will happen? 2 petitioners are there. If one of the petitioners are not happy,
so basically a lot of people need to come together on the same plate, and एक ही थाली में से चावल सबने एक साथ खानी है.
And Constitution has some points with where which is allowed, then some of the people will not be able to contest, and those will be affected. They will not go down easily. They will try to scuttle. And I have I can say very openly that I suspect a lot of people in the federation who were instrumental in running the erstwhile committee will like India to get banned. I'm sorry to say, but I'm just saying
Because
it very
देखा
openly.
ये देखो हो गया
हाँ, देखो, that is
हम बचा रहे थे इससे
हाँ.
या हम बोल रहे थे ये
हम
होने
कह
वाला
रहे
है।
थे हाँ
And I thought FIFA also could have been a little more proactive.
वो सवाल वही पूछ रहे हैं सब कि सर ये मंदिर पे घंटी, अब मंदिर पे घंटी नहीं बजी, अब बहुत कुछ हुआ है, मंदिर टूटा है, जो भी हुआ है, जो भी भगवान जी आओ बचाओ हमें, पर ये घंटी तो काफी टाइम से बज रही थी। तो एक नोशन ये है कि फीफा थोड़ा लेट आया है, or you could have come earlier. But what is the process? Because if I want FIFA to come into my country and say, what are you doing? I am banning you. Is there a certain thing only which happens post which they say we come there?
Of course, that is there. FIFA. Some people, I think, one of the members also asked in a meeting also that he said he very politely said we are very disappointed by FIFA's the way the FIFA has conducted. So much problem was going on. FIFA never said anything. FIFA said one of the members should have stood up and written to us.
So until you don't send a formal complaint or letter.
But the thing is that here you can say that entire whatever the problem for the 15 months the elections were not held, and the man responsible who was for keeping the elections on hold is a FIFA council member. We have no proof at this moment till date. Do you have any proof where the FIFA even politely told that council member don't flout rules, being the member of the highest governing body in the world? Did they say? Nobody has said them. But see, now you are saying it's a third party interference. Tell me one thing, Arjun. In 2017, when High Court dismissed Praful Patel and his committee, and the next day that order was stayed, he was restored as the president by the Supreme Court. By the order of the Supreme Court, he was restored as the president. It was not a third party interference. When he was removed, it becomes a third party interference.
Point.
Which one is right in that case?
And in the end, when FIFA was written to also, it was written to by the same people.
But that was way, मतलब तब तक तो काफी कुछ हो चुका था।
हाँ, जब पता चला कि ये होने वाला है, कि हमें निकाला जाने वाला है फाइनली, और ये कमिटी ऑफ एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर्स आने वाला है to take control of day-to-day operations and set up a new constitution, etc. तभी सबको याद आया कि ये FIFA बैन हो सकता है।
अरे जो दो पिटीशन गया था, तीन पिटीशन, एक तो राहुल मेहरा का पिटीशन है, he is an advocate. 2 other petitions is Kalyan Chaube. Kalyan Chaube is a former player. Next petition is Delhi Football Club, which is owned by Ranjit Bajaj, Delhi Football Club. FIFA was aware of it, and according to FIFA law, it's a grave offence to go to the court of law. You have to come to FIFA for whatever.
Because that is essentially its definition of third party interference.
I know both Kalyan and Ranjit very well. I have spoken to them at length on this subject. Nobody has ever told me that FIFA even gave them an informal call saying that why are you going to the court? Come to our dispute chamber and we'll do something. Nobody told them. Everybody was keeping quiet. Why they are keeping? You will only come when the problem starts and problem gets bigger.
Yeah.
Is it the role of the world body in that way? That's very disappointing, isn't it?
But it is, yeah. And essentially, both the AFC as well must be considered, because the president of the AIFF was also a senior vice president at the AFC. So,
he must be something. He's everywhere something.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's not
तारों में लिखा है.
not just the world body, but also the Asian body very much aware of what is going on. People have written to journalists such as us have written to the AFC saying, have you taken any suo motu cognizance of what India में हो क्या रहा है? और वहाँ से reply तो स्टैंडर्डाइज, जैसे आप कह रहे थे ना कि कार्ड छप चुके हैं, तो ये सारे कार्ड पहले से छपे ही होते हैं, टेम्पलेटाइज्ड होता है सब कुछ,
वेग लैंग्वेज में एक पैरा आ जाए, आपके पास
सिर्फ उसमें नाम और डेट चेंज करने की देरी होती है, और सिग्नेचर शायद अगर कोई बंदा बदला हो तो वो सिग्नेचर बदल जाता है. तो एएफसी की तरफ से भी सेम ही काइंड ऑफ लेवल ऑफ इन्वॉल्वमेंट रहा है, इवन दो एएफसी इज पुशिंग सो हार्ड. वी हैव बीन टॉकिंग अबाउट इट सिंस the 2015 Asian Cup, how the tournament format has been expanded so that teams such as India will always qualify for the AFC Asian Cup. This whole, in the last few shows we've done have all been talking about our qualification process, but essentially extending the team to the tournament format to 24 teams is to help countries like India be on that continental stage at all times. whenever some tournament has to be held, particularly an age group tournament, India is now volunteering, spending public money on hosting these tournaments. So in that sense, none of these guys can claim that what is happening in India they are unaware of. It's just a question of not getting involved because of what, I don't know, because members of the club are the ones who are doing it, I guess.
Sir, मैं एक पूछना चाहता हूँ to move forward because we've spoken about repercussions on the under-17 Women's World Cup and the team. Repercussions on the senior team, okay, not too much if you're saying it's a 3-month ban.
If it is,
you've secured your qualification, but in the middle of that you have to, contract. फिर से negotiation is happening with your head coach in September.
And also this, if there, I think up to June there are only two FIFA window is available, whether you can play 4 matches. I don't know whether this, even if it is a 3-month ban we are talking about, we don't know how much it will be. Even if that FIFA window falls into that ban period, then we are gone. We can't play.
But then how does coach साहब negotiation किसके साथ करेंगे जब
ये तो I think in the next 2-3 days COA is, as far as I know, I have been told by a lot of people that the committee of administrators as well as the acting general secretary Mr. Sunanda Dhar will be sitting with the coach in the next week or immediately, maybe from Monday onwards they are talking. They are already talking, but formally they will sit and finalize whatever it is.
Final decision मोहर COA का लगेगा, but decision will be made by Mr. Dhar and the committee basically.
Yeah. When I spoke to Dr. Qureshi told me that, see, there are so many experts in this country. Even Bhaskar, our member, is a former India captain. And if I want, if they want, I can talk to the previous technical committee also. Informally, they can always all tell us that what to do, because I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
If they tell to do this, we will do. But I have a feeling, which he never told me, but I have a feeling, if the coach is looking for a
better contract,
is
longer contract.
No, not only longer contract. If they are looking for a substantial increment or whatever, that COA will be not in a position to give it, because COA will only extend it and will.
On the same terms.
Same terms, and they will say, let the next committee come and take it.
Because this new contract, if you do a new contract in September, and your Asian Cup happens in Jan-Feb, right? So ideally,
Asian Cup nobody knows when it is going.
You can't
Jan-Feb impossible, because December you have World
December
Cup.
is the World Cup.
World Cup, so you can't have it.
So
July
is not going to
June, July.
It depends.
So
because your venue is not finalized.
Whenever you extend a coach, at least for us, you do big event to big event. Our big event is Asian Cup. It gets over in June, July. So you're saying if this negotiation happens, you give him a 1-year contract, saying that again we'll see you after Asian Cup.
Could be up to Asian Cup. He must.
But as a coach, you would say that I want a bigger contract, so because my project is this. क्रांतिकारी आपने चलाई है यहाँ पे by BK के बाद कि जी हमने ये कर दिया वो कर दिया है.
That I don't know, but COA will be reluctant to do it, because COA will say कि this is
हमारा mandate limited है, etc.
आपको मैं 1 साल अगले कमिटी आके अगर बोल दिया भाई टाटा भाई हो जाओ तो आप कहाँ जाओ.
तो एशियन कप तक का renewal होना है.
You do it, and if he wants a substantial increment, that could be a problem for COA, because COA doesn't want to, as I have spoken to them, they don't want to increase the expenditure. जो चल रहा चलने तो ये नहीं कोई बोल दे कि यार हम आके तो पैसे लूट के चले गए हैं.
Oh, but then that will be a sticking point also. If the coach says no, I don't want to for the same amount, because he's publicly gone and said, I've gone for a lower offer. I had higher offers when I was joining this place because I thought there was a project in hand. So I took it because I thought a lot of people are going to come together for this project to grow. And it's a huge market. And now when the time comes and I've taken you to your second Asian Cup, under whatever circumstances, after how many ever qualification rounds you've taken him there, he has every right to say, okay, now why are you not increasing my money? It's time. I've come at a lower price. At least that's on the negotiating table.
Yeah, sure.
He can always say. But I think if you look at from AIFF point of view, then the coach is given a very decent salary, and coach and the AIFF picks up his income tax as well.
Achha, okay.
So what else can they do? The money may be not much in, if you look at from the European point of view, though I don't think so. But if somebody says from the Indian point of view, it's a Very
large
good.
amount.
It's a
I think there is also some kind of cap on how much national sports federations are permitted to spend on coaching staff.
No,
India?
rather because half of
India?
it is being
So
given by the
it's-
ministry. The
yeah.
rest is given by the federation.
federation.
That is fine, but the federation also has a limit. How much they can. He has said ki I am getting as much as the previous coach was getting. Perhaps he is right also.
Yeah.
But at these all things he has to talk to new committee. Just because a caretaker government cannot, it's a pass a budget. They only give a year on accounts, vote on accounts, isn't it? It is like Mr. Qureshi the COA will give a vote on accounts.
But I can understand him using a loudspeaker and just putting it out there now. Because what he's doing, he's holding press conferences left, right and center, he's talking to people left, right and center. I can understand because he's saying, my time has come to negotiate a salary, but now I'm stuck, my hands are tied because a court case has happened and the federation is in all sorts of turmoil. And now I'll sign a contract for another year because of your turmoil, I will not be able to, renegotiate my terms. And that seems like a tough decision
Anyway,
to make.
so I guess we can ask.
Problem is his arrow is going nowhere because he has no target.
There's no,
Who will take the responsibility? Nobody will take the responsibility. Okay, we can
बात
give
करेंगे
it.
जब
बात
time
करो मैं जा रहा हूँ.
तो मैं तो कह रहा हूँ सर, I'm trying to say in the negotiation जब आप बात करते हो ना, मुझे लगता है उनका थोड़ा वेट कम है नेगोशिएशन में. फिर मैं तो ये कहना चाह रहा हूँ,
किनका, कोच का,
कोच साहब का थोड़ा वेटेज कम है.
कोई नेगोशिएट करने के लिए है ही नहीं तो
नहीं, बिकॉज आइडियली यू जस्ट टेकन द टीम टू योर सेकंडेशन का आपका तो ओहदा होना चाहिए ऊपर कि जी मैंने तो काम कर दिया, अब आप करो मेरे साथ नेगोशिएट, नहीं तो मैं गया. आई एम द वन हु टुक यू देयर.
Everything is fine, but he's telling whom?
Exactly. वही मैं कह रहा हूँ ना.
Telling who?
So in fact, we have some kind of confirmation that the coach himself. It's a good time, as good a time to announce
But I
it as
believe
any
you
other.
people are talking to him also
Exactly.
in the next few days
Yeah.
also.
So Igor's team match will be on 420 grams on. So far we know that we think that he'll be here on Wednesday this coming week. So we'll of course ask him some of these questions, who he is talking to at the federation, how those negotiations are proceeding, because obviously there are a lot of other issues that are going on. So perhaps only the future of the national team head coach for the men's team isn't like prime in the minds of the committee of administration.
From his point of view,
it's the key subject.
Yeah.
And also if we're looking to build on some of, you can see when the national team does well, whether it's the men's team or the women's team, the kind of interest it generates, the kind of conversations it generates.
Huge.
So there really is no sort of shortcut to, on this path to Indian football growing and becoming into something. National team का performance काफी उसमें मायने रखता है. तो important तो है. And tournament आ रहा है. हमने अब statement issue कर दिया है.
Preparation तो starts now.
Bigger teams will be in for a surprise and all of
ये भी बोला है?
हाँ बिल्कुल बोला है.
ये कब बोला है?
At the press conference
कलकत्ता में बोला
in
था.
Calcutta.
बोला उन्होंने?
Yeah. That some of the bigger
He
teams,
went
bigger
gaga.
teams meaning, of course, the Koreas, the Japans, the Australias,
Wait.
Iran, Iraq, these
अब इराक
countries.
पहले grouping तो मिल जाए फिर पता चल जाएगा.
So a lot of questions, of course, about the Asian
हमारे
Cup
रिचर्ड
20.
हुड भाई बोल रहे थे that we could be in a very tough pot.
Yeah, no doubt. Because
He doesn't have to say it, we know it.
the pots are ranking based, right?
Yeah.
So the sooner you qualify, the chances of you getting a team that is from the other pots, lower ranked teams,
समझ गया.
are higher. Now we are unfortunately the lowest rank in the lowest ranked of the qualifying bracket. So automatically दो तो tough teams guaranteed हैं, super tough teams.
Yeah.
तो 12 में से दोनों तो आना ही है.
दोनों तो आना ही है,
जो
right?
12 क्वालिफाई हो चुके हैं.
Japan.
जो भी है.
Yeah, no, last time round, who did we play? 2011 we had Bahrain, we had Australia and South Korea.
Yeah.
So
Like,
group
no, as
can't
in,
get
we won't
any
get a
tougher.
favorable one like 2019 is what I'm saying.
Yeah, probably
That
not.
was a favorable
Probably
group.
not. There was a chance for us to even dream of qualifying from the group. So I think there should be a super interesting conversation with Igor's team match on Wednesday next week. So
Bhai,
put that in your calendars. we'll tell you the time as soon as we have confirmation, because he's of course not in the country at the moment. So based on time difference, etc., बताते हैं आपको.
Sir, final thing, we're moving on now. सब लड़के चैट पे यही कह रहे हैं, मेरे नक्षत्र में क्या है?
Asking for this, they should pay 8 lakhs for each question.
But बताओ तो उसकी, what were some of the findings, including the hot topic that is of course being discussed in the public, astrology. I have a lot of questions on it. To whatever extent you can reveal.
See, there is a very.
When did this come about, this development, by the way?
You see, it's very unfortunate that for the last few months, for the last few years, or maybe for some, there are rumors and whispering campaign was going on that there is a lot of corruption in the All India Football Federation, and the money has been misappropriated, or whatever you call it, in good language, nice good language, whatever you call it. So first sign was the coming of CAG audit.
Which was when, sir?
It started last month and finished only on 21st. It finished on I think it has finished already. I don't know if they are extending. The CAG audit is a huge thing. That the Sports Ministry has granted permission to Comptroller and Auditor General to conduct a audit of All India Football Federation accounts, because government pays a lot of money to them. So it has started 1 month before. That's a big thing. Even before the COA came,
just before
COA came, it happened. And I believe coming to your point, I believe after coming to after they were asked to run the federation, then committee of administrators, it consists of very respectable people. Bhaskada is a former India captain. Dr. Qureshi is a former. Dr. Qureshi was the Chief Election Commissioner of India, and before that he was also the Secretary of Sports at one point of time, and Justice Qureshi, Justice Dave, who was the Supreme Court judge. Before that, he was a Bombay High Court Chief Justice also. So all of them found things are not a lot of things which are not right. They started auditing. Finding papers, trying to, and it's very easy for them because they have been doing it for their entire life. They are doing it. For a Supreme Court judge or for a former Chief Election Commissioner, it's not something new to them. They know how to do it. So they quickly come across some papers in which it has been found that a firm in which some of the newspapers have also reported that a firm in Green Park has been given. And I think there are 2 addresses it was there which I got to know, that one address is behind that Green Park said it is into some small area which is missing. That area is also missing. Nothing is to be found, and they were to be paid 8 lakhs per month. And I believe this is completely. I say I believe because I was not present there. That when the chief executive of the company of the federation was confronted with it, he said that it is a national team department affair, and he said it to COA that this is a national team department affair, and I only sign paper when I am asked to do. So this project was propped up by the national team department, and whosoever heads the national team department should be asked something like that, he said. And he also said that even the coach Igor Stimac is also has approached him and said that this can be done. So then first it was said that this company will not only astrology, they will also give stats to the national team, stats on the rival teams, all stats which have been given to a team. That the previous team, that how many passes they play, what they do, all this, which from 2016 that Instat company who are in contract with AIFF. So you didn't need another company to do it.
No, but how are you getting stats from astrology?
That is the thing. That's what I said. How can they give an astrology stats from astrology company? Whatever, I don't know. Now,
आप पहले बता दो पूरा फिर
तो then he was perhaps COA was not
impressed
with what.
Let's put it politely.
To put it politely, was not impressed. And then I think that the chief executive said he was not feeling well, he was not well. So he went on leave, and very graciously CEO said, okay, since you are not well, you go on leave. And there are some other things also coming up that players players from developmental side were sold to some clubs. They have been sold to clubs, whether ISL clubs or I League clubs, I don't know. They have been sold to them, and those players and of course the mother club gets a commission out of it for that.
That was a rule.
That's a rule. So that commission has gone to a club in Gujarat, and later the Gujarat club said we never heard of it. And the money was sent to a bank account which the Gujarat club has nothing to do with that. That's in a Bombay company, a Mumbai company, and it was found the address in a place where the owner of the company, that company has at least 90 shell companies in the country, and all these things. These are all I'm hearing. See, I'm not privy to papers or anything, but since I'm around for a long time, I get to hear a lot of things from all kinds of rumors. So everybody. So all these things are coming up. So the thing is that whether astrologer has gone or a player has been sold and money has been taken away. Basically the thing is that there are a lot of and when I interviewed Dr. Qureshi, he clearly told me, which was in court, he told me, which I published, and since he has not refuted, I think he says everything is fine. AIFF, it has got a good administration, is going on, matches are going on, not a problem, but there are some financial irregularities in it. Then I asked him, sir, what is in that case, what do you plan to do? He says, I am still in the process of collecting evidences. So there is a corruption in the federation. There is perhaps we can come to a conclusion. I'm not sure whether, but perhaps we can come to a conclusion.
Okay, I'm just trying to say. So you've been around for a long time, so you get to hear a lot of things, and that's courtesy of you being around for a long time. So there's a trust factor, and there's always two sides to a story. While one might execute it, the other person might not like it, but so he'll come to you to bhadas nikalne ke liye. This is happening in a federation, which is a close-knit unit. I am sure everyone in the federation knows what's going on. Whether you're a person who's just been asked to sign, but you know exactly what you're signing for. And so the chatter starts. So everyone knows what's going on. If that is the case, and if everyone knows what's going on, they should all go. Because are you trying to tell me that tomorrow you change the heads by holding an election, but aapne jad same rakhi hui hai, and those heads again turn out to be similar kind of pattern people, these people all do the same thing again, right? You'll again follow suit and the whole thing will start again. So if you really want to reform the federation, which is the job of the COA, and it could be a tough job because if you suddenly reboot everything, it's tougher to start again, especially at a crucial time when you're playing the World Cup and you're playing the Asian Cup and so on. I'm just saying it.
Oh, so
they should. If you're privy to it, you're part of it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Whether you signed or not signed or whatever, if you're privy to it, you're part of it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Well, and as of now, at least the sense that we are getting, the kind of mismanagement overall, outside of, like Jaydeep is saying, outside of कि चलो कुछ matches हो रहे हैं, वो भी सारे matches नहीं हो रहे हैं, selectively matches हो रहे हैं, और कुछ और कैसे हो रहे हैं, कहाँ हो रहे हैं, क्यों हो रहे हैं, वो सब अलग I suppose discussion है. उसमें I think from the sports administration point of view, some thought has to be given to people who come in. Like so
for
many
people to come in, space needs to be made, na?
Yeah. So the mandate of this committee, while it's a simple mandate, which is to come up with a new constitution and to hold new elections, it's also a fairly broad mandate. So it's not a reform mandate, it's a restructuring mandate. जब आप नया constitution बना रहे हैं तो इसका मतलब आप पूरे structure को आप बाहर के नज़रिए से देख रहे हैं, right? Identify कर रहे हैं उस structure में कहाँ weak points हैं और उसको दोबारा से आप फिर बनाने की कोशिश करेंगे ना. तो इस process में जब कुरैशी साहब कह रहे हैं कि वो evidence collect करने के process में हैं, तो जब वो evidence उनके पास आएगा, clearly वहाँ पे then some sort of tiers of responsibility will be there for those who are indulging in this kind of mismanagement, and then they should face the consequences of it, as you know.
I'm just saying easier said than done. It's easier to take out the heads who are executing this, but do you also then impact the people who are blindly turning an eye? That's all I'm trying to say. Because if you are part of that house there and you know what is going on and you haven't said anything, even if you wanted to make a point, you could have gone out and brought it out.
No, but those are very complicated things, man. Pandit, you see what's happening with whistleblowers around the world, right? You see the case of Julian Assange, for example, more than 10 years in jail. Why? Because he's exposed the secrets of or what the US government has done in terms of killing civilians.
So basically, you let the guys who turn a blind eye.
So when the laws of the land do not provide any protection to people who are whistleblowers, who are willing to go out and नहीं तो क्या होता है जर्नलिस्ट और आजकल तो ये बहुत कॉमन हो गया है राइट जर्नलिस्ट कोई कुछ भी लिख देगा attributed to sources अब attributing to sources is fine because and it happens precisely for this reason that अपना नाम नहीं दे सकते लोग but when it's one thing when you have evidence on paper of wrongdoing but let's say my department is catering right and there's been some fraud in the national teams department. I might have heard about it in conversation, chai peete samay, cigarette peete samay, but that has absolutely nothing to do with
actually two members,
my role in it.
One member at least raised this question in front of COS as so much corruption is going on, this and that, and then finally I think one of the CO members, I think Justice Dave also told them that that's why we are here, and why don't you make a nice committee which will take care of all these things? It is in your hand.
It is in your hand, absolutely. So when you are rewriting the constitution, clearly you should have checks and balances in place, measures in place, right, for that, to ensure that there is proper audit. I'm sure those things are happening anyways. They
one
must
more
have
thing,
engaged
which is coming to this year, he has the COA has ordered a forensic audit. And they are supposed to give a report in 6 weeks' time. I don't think they will be able to give it in 6 weeks, but generally forensic audit is a deep audit which takes more time, I believe. But they have agreed to, a forensic audit has been ordered.
Yeah, so once all these things are done, I suppose...
if everything falls in line, heads will roll. Certainly heads will roll.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to understand. How many will roll?
That I don't know.
Because अगर एक पूरा building involved है, by way of directly or indirectly being involved, how many heads will roll?
I think पूरा building involved नहीं है.
नहीं, पूरा building कहाँ involved है?
3-4 आदमी मिलके कुछ कर रहे, अगर कर रहे थे, because we have no right to say unless it is proved. We have absolutely no right to say.
Fair point. I get your point, sir. I get your point. But I am saying if I am privy to what's happening, and I know what's happening over here, then I am involved in some way or the other, and I am then susceptible to be chosen again, and then I can do the same thing again of turning a blind eye. Is all I'm trying to say.
But putting everything upside down is not a very easy task.
No, that I agree. That's why I put it there also. So final एक पूछ लूँ.
Coming,
Final एक पूछ लूँ.
Commercial
partner sir. क्योंकि ये जो पैसा जो इस्तेमाल हो रहा है, ये तो वहाँ से आ रहा है.
मास्टर राइट्स एग्रीमेंट एक तो जो काफी लोगों ने
आधे व्हाट इज द थिंग दे मस्ट बी कि हमारा पैसा गलत तरीके से इस्तेमाल हो रहा है ये
क्या बोल रहे हैं they met yesterday the FIFA and COA both. What happened after that I have no idea, but they met. Even the I League and ISL club also met. I League clubs have met has made two very good demands. I League clubs have met. One thing they said we are by the end of 22-23 season, the promotion relegation is...
But so in the draft constitution, as many people pointed out initially when those copies were circulated, there is a clause that says the I-League, which is a league owned by India, and here India is equated to the All India Football Federation, so it's a publicly owned, not a privately owned league. Will be the number one league in the country.
कहानी फिर शुरू होगी.
नहीं कहानी फिर शुरू होगी मतलब अगर ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में है तो कहानी ये स्टिकिंग पॉइंट मेजर होगा.
That's not happening because I spoke to Dr. Qureshi on this subject. Dr. Qureshi said I am aware of it because he said this constitution we drafted before the October 2019 roadmap was accepted by all stakeholders in Kuala Lumpur. We are aware of the way the things are being run and the aware of the roadmap. Everything will be solved after discussion. That means it's being removed. It will be removed. Matlab, I assume that's what he meant to say. I'm not sure what he said, but I assume he wanted to say that only.
And any questions on the master rights agreement itself? Because in 2025 that also comes up for, I mean, it's 15 years are done.
As far as COA is concerned, I don't think they will go. But this I-League clubs told COA as well as FIFA members that since one of the FIFA members is also the AFC secretary who was present in that meeting, I-League club said that since the promotion will start from 22-23 season, last 4 years the roadmap says so, but so far not a meeting has been held on it. How the things will do? Why don't you order them to hold a meeting at least? So we'll know what's happening. And secondly, why don't you put one league committee member, whether from ISL, from I-League, into the executive committee with a voting right? So both of them said, COA and both of them said it's out of our bounds. We cannot. But you. Okay, when the committee comes, you talk to them. But this is a very valid point. That what about the promotion of I-League clubs? Why no discussion has been done yet? And I still think I say it always, and I say it openly. I still think it is not going to happen. I'd be very surprised if it happens.
Definitely not along the timelines that we have been told so far.
I think some pretext or the other it will be changed.
आई थिंक मोर और लेस जब बैन की बात भी शुरू हुई थी, जब ये COA आया था, तब भी हमने यही बात की थी कि ये सब थोड़ा सा हड़काने के टैक्टिक्स हैं और दीज आर वेरी कॉमनली यूज्ड टैक्टिक्स as Jaydeep Basu would have experienced time and again in his coverage, not just of football in India, but overall in the operations of national sports federations. It's happening all over the place. But on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this episode of 420 Grams. I hope some of the issues have been clarified for you. I hope you've enjoyed this update on what's going on at the moment with Indian football. A lot more action expected in the coming weeks. I've also received a message while we were chatting from Mr. Steematch saying that he has confirmed and he's going to be on the show, but it depends on, like Jaydeep was saying, that he's likely to have some meetings with the COA in the next few days, most likely on Monday or Tuesday. So he's like, some of what he comes and says, if he comes and says it, depends on whether those meetings will go ahead or not. So either ways, we are in touch. We have, for a change, channels of communication are open, conversations are happening.
You want to say hi, hello,
dialogue is on. And also a friend of the show, Ishfaq, has written in with questions about on that coaching subject. But for today, we'll I think wrap it up here. The focus of this was to figure out where the committee of administrators is and what's happening with FIFA. So I think we've done that. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining in. I think 200-300 people on a working day afternoon have taken out the time to come and watch this show. Stay tuned for updates. We'll be back with Igor's team match next, unless something explosive happens, in which case Jaydeep will be back with all of that excitement. All right. See you again. Stay safe. Goodbye.
Thank you.